This is going to be a bit more of a vulnerable share than I'm used to doing on here. And it's a little scary, but it's because it's something that I'm dealing with right now. And I think that it's something that so many other people deal with too, and it's not necessarily talked about as much. So that's why I want to talk about it today. And that's the feeling that we get of not being good enough, or feeling like we don't belong. And, this has been coming up for me as I've been building this channel, as I've been building my other social media business. And it's uncomfortable. And it's something that we don't want to admit. So I know that I've, created this identity that I know what I'm doing, and that, I know that logically I can do anything I want, and that it's always my choice, and that of course I'm good enough, and of course I belong here. So I don't want to admit that there's the part of me inside that actually doesn't believe that, that fully doesn't believe that he belongs here, and that fully does not believe that he's good enough to accomplish his dreams and do whatever it is that I set out to be, completely based on fear. And it can be tempting to give into that voice and let that fear guide us and let it prevent us from doing the things that we want to do. But that fear is really there to actually show us what it is that we really do want to do, and to show us that there is something that's there that we haven't yet done that we do want to accomplish. And so, with that feeling of not being good enough, all it wants to do is be felt. It wants to be acknowledged. It wants to be accepted as part of us. For me, I know that it very much stems from childhood, the way that I was raised, and the things that my parents did, and the things that I was taught, and it was all subconsciously absorbed by me. And that part of me chose to believe that there are certain things that I can do, and there are certain things that I can't do. And as I've been now diving really deep into spirituality and plant medicine and all of that, I know that those things are not inherently true. But just because those things are not inherently true, like the fact that, I might believe that there are certain things that I can't do and that I'm not good enough, uh, I know that it's my choice to choose to transcend those feelings and to transcend those things and just do them anyways. Because deep down in my soul, I know that there are certain things that I want to do that I haven't done yet, and there are goals that I have and things that I want to achieve. And that's amazing. But if I do those things while trying to ignore the fact that there's the part of me that doesn't believe that I can do those things, I'm just going to kind of be veering off course, and I'm still actually going to be letting those things guide my decisions and guide what I do, because subconsciously, like, that is my belief that I'm not good enough. And so I'm actually going to be trying to do things and then almost prove them right, to show that, yep, I'm not good enough, I can't do things. But when I really sit with those feelings and allow them to be there and accept them, that's when I can make the choice to do something different and to actually prove myself wrong. And I get that opportunity to prove myself wrong by doing things that I never thought that I could do. But it all comes back to allowing myself, and all of us allowing ourselves, to feel the uncomfortable feelings and the uncomfortable emotions that are attached to all of that. And yeah, that's it. They just want to be felt. I'm not a huge fan of therapy, for the reason that when I've been in therapy before, and I've seen multiple therapists over my life at this point, it seemed that the focus was a lot on intellectualizing those emotions and understanding where they come from. And I'm not saying that that isn't important, but it's really maybe only getting you about 25% of the way there. What matters way more than understanding where the feeling comes from and where the emotion comes from is being able to let yourself fully feel the emotion and accept it. Accept it as part of you, and accept it with compassion, and then accept it with forgiveness, and then make the choice from there that you're going to let it go, and that you're going to let it go with love, and you're not going to continue to let it control your decisions, control what you do in your life, and give into the fear that's ultimately under that. And I made another video on this, but the antidote to fear is trust. And so it's an opportunity for us. This is an opportunity for me to trust that I am doing something right, and that, you know, I can accomplish the things that I want to accomplish, and that I do belong here. I've done so much work on myself over the past really 3 years, like just nonstop doing this work, but also living my life at the same time, and allowing myself to make mistakes and putting myself in uncomfortable positions to try new things, in order to let these feelings continue to come up and let the emotions like keep going just a layer deeper and a layer deeper and a layer deeper, to prove that we can do things. And you know, I think back to when we were kids, and we just did things. Like, we didn't care if we weren't good at them. We still just did them. If it was a new sport that we wanted to play, we just started playing it. Or if it was, you know, even a video game or something like that, just because we didn't know how to play doesn't mean that we wouldn't play it. And as we become adults, we start to know what it is that we can do and know what it is that we can't do. And so we only allow ourselves to do the things that we think that we can do, and we don't do the things that we can't do out of fear. But the only reason that we can't do those things right now is just because we haven't allowed ourselves the time and the space to try them, and to allow us to, quote unquote, fail. But really, there is no actual failure. Anytime that you fail at something, that's just another opportunity to find out one way to not do something. Like, for example, something that I'm dealing with right now, and why I think this is coming up so much for me, is that I'm in the process of launching a new podcast, and I want to make a trailer for that podcast. And I have this like big idea for what I want the trailer to look like and how I want it to be. And yesterday I went out to try to film it, and it just turned out terrible. Like almost every scene didn't quite turn out exactly the way that I wanted to in my mind. And I felt like a fucking failure. And that's okay. You know, I let it get me down a little bit last night, and this morning I woke up and was still really feeling like a failure and feeling like I didn't know what I was doing. But once I allowed myself to fully go into that, and usually that was with crying. I don't think the tears are still there anymore. I'm not going to cry on camera today, but you know, I realized that that wasn't the objective truth, and that it's just what I'm feeling in that moment. And it's that wounded part of me from when I was a child that's coming up, and showing what that feeling is, and showing that, you know, it's not comfortable, but it's just another opportunity for me to continue to go into that, and continue to lean into that, and continue to prove myself wrong, rather than feeling that and giving into it and being like, you know what, you're right, I can't do things. I'm going to take it the other way, and I'm going to be like, yeah, this didn't turn out how I wanted to now, but now I'm doing something to try to fix it, and I'm doing something to try to actually show that I can do difficult things, and that I don't need to let those wounded parts of me control the way that I live my life. And I know that this is something that so many people deal with, and so many people don't really talk about what it's like, looking over the edge of that thing that you really want and feeling that fear in your gut that says that you can't do it and that says that you shouldn't do it, because that's what we've been conditioned to believe. So many of us throughout our lives have really been conditioned to believe that there are certain things that we can and can't do. But that's not the truth. And it's as simple as that. And kind of going back to what I was talking about with therapy, it's, like, understanding where they come from it's good, but if you don't know how to then move through it and move past it, you're still just going to be stuck in the same place. Like, I know that, a lot of this stems from my childhood, and like my dad was hard on me and I was hard on myself. And cool, but there comes a certain point where that actually doesn't matter. If you could only pick to know where the feeling and know where the emotion came from, or only know how to feel something once it does come up, I would choose to know how to actually feel it every single time. It doesn't matter where it came from. What matters is that it's yours now, and it's up to you to then make the choice on how do you want to deal with it moving forward, and whether or not you want to continue to let it run your life and allow yourself to keep living in fear without trying anything new, without going after what it is that you truly want in your life. Or if you're going to make the choice to just make small changes and just do little things every single day or every week or every month to prove that part of yourself, to prove that voice in your head wrong, and show that it's not the enemy. It's not trying to cause you to not live your best life. It's trying to keep you in what you know. And we have this certain baseline of comfort that we reach, and that comfort is, again, based on all of this conditioning that we've been given in our lives. And then if we don't give ourselves opportunities to really question that, we're going to continue to just stay at that baseline comfort level our entire lives, because it's what we're used to and it's predictable and it's what we know. So what we need to do is give ourselves little opportunities safely to get out of our comfort zone and to really show ourselves that we are so much greater and so much more capable of what we might actually believe that we are able to do. But if you're feeling that, it means that you're in such a good place. Like, it's such a positive thing to actually be able to feel those feelings of not being good enough and not belonging on this earth. And like, objectively, especially speaking to feeling like that you don't belong, whether it's, in your family, in your job, and whatever it is, I know that that's just absolutely false, because you wouldn't be here if you didn't belong. You would not have come down to this earth in this body, be born into your family, if you didn't fully belong there. No matter how painful some of the experiences that you might have gone through are, they are really just experiences at the end of the day. And we are the one that assigns the meaning onto it. And a lot of the time, that meaning that we do assign to it is meaning that puts us back into these boxes, and this meaning that makes us feel small. And when you give yourself the time and the space to really question some of those beliefs and see whether or not maybe those were not things that happened to you because you're not good enough, but they were things that happened to you to show you that you can do hard things and to show you that you can overcome whatever it is that you want to overcome in this life, to accomplish all of your dreams and to live your best life. And that starts with being really present and giving yourself time and space to be present with whatever it is that's there. But, if you're at a point in your life, if you're in any sort of spiritual awakening, if you're building a business, if you're in a new relationship, whatever it is that you're doing, when those feelings come up, they're not feelings to be ignored. They're feelings to be felt, and they're feelings to sit with. Because when you can then sit with that feeling, when you can accept it, when you can have compassion for it, when you can forgive it, and then when you can make a choice to do something different in your life, that's how you actually alchemize that feeling into pure love and pure creativity, and really let it actually be your guide to help you understand what it is that you really do want to accomplish, and how you want to accomplish it, and how you want to show up. I have this huge problem in my life where I can kind of see what I want, and I have this goal that I'm moving towards, and then I get really fixated on it, and I want it in a certain way. I think I know exactly how I want it, and then I want it now. Patience has always been really, really tough for me. Just not trusting that there is a plan, and that there are certain things that I need to know along the way in order to then fully enjoy it and fully be in that once I get there. If I had the things that I think I want right now, I'm sure that they wouldn't be like, I'd probably get it, and then I'd be like, this isn't exactly all that I thought it would be, because there were so many lessons that I needed to learn along the way in order to truly be in it, and in order to truly enjoy that thing that's there. So all of this stems from allowing yourself to feel like you're not good enough, and to feel like you don't belong, and to sit with those, love them, turn them into love, alchemize them into love, and then make the choice to take that leap anyways, and do the thing anyways, and keep trying and keep going after what it is that you want, without just ignoring the feelings and making them into this dark, scary shadow that doesn't exist, because we built these identities that we now believe in, and we try everything that we can to hold on to those identities. So yeah, I think I was just kind of babbling towards the end of this, but that's all I got for you today. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel. And then also, if you want to do some more private community stuff where we can dive deeper into this, and I can help you along, be sure to definitely check me out on Patreon. The link to that will be in the description of this video. But I appreciate you. I love you, and I'll see you next video.